Kicking it off right now, then. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in to the BAMF podcast. This is the second episode in our new series called Wild Die Thursdays. And here with us today is Mr. Chris Warner from Doghouse Rules. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right. If you'll forgive me for just 1 second, I have to play our contractually obligated intro music. So just one
Can't
second.
wait. Can't wait.
That assures you, dear listeners and viewers, that you are listening and watching a high quality, artisanally handcrafted podcast of the highest production values. So nice to have you, Chris. It looks like Carl Kistler is trying to join us. I will add him to the stream and see. And there's a circle just spinning. So hopefully Carl comes on. You might suggest to him that if he turns off his camera and just goes in with an icon, that might work better for him.
I'll suggest that to him. I'm chatting with him.
All right, cool. And we are here because you guys have a really interesting project coming out called Dustbunnies, Life Under the Couch. This is a kids RPG for Suede. Let me pull up the Kickstarter pre-launch page. And you got some cool art in here. Tell us a little bit about this game. This looks really interesting.
Yeah, so like you said, it's a game designed. We call it a game for heroes of all ages. We really wanted to make a role-playing game that was geared toward families. You know, games parents could play with their kids, especially one that could help introduce younger kids to the world of role-playing games. My son's a grown man now, but I wish I had something like this when he was younger. We played lots of board games, but he didn't play RPGs until he was college age. So we're fans of Suede and have done other games in that rule set. And in Dust Bunnies, it's really a setting. And you play sentient balls of dust and lint and hair that go on adventures inside and around your house.
That is awesome.
So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, I can certainly tell you more, and you have questions, or I can just ramble on. But that's the short of it.
Would you mind if I played a little bit of the video from your Kickstarter preview?
No, please do.
Okay, I won't share too much more from that page, but I thought the video was pretty interesting. And it would be that tab right there. Did the audio come through?
I could hear it.
Let me share that tab again with the audio. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Chrome tab. There we go. Share tab audio. All right. So this looks really amazing. I love the art. I love the general vibe. Hey, here's Carl. Carl, how you doing, sir? Carl, are you there?
Are you on mute, Carl?
He is not on mute. Well, Carl, just speak up whenever you can. But yeah, I just wanted to show our viewers that video looks amazing.
Well, thank you. We had fun making it. So Carl did all the frames. He's the artist. He's a graphic artist, and he did all the frames that we used in it. But we the music is licensed, and we got the music, and we put the video together ourselves. So it was fun doing that. I used to be a video producer way back in the day when we used videotape, so I had to dust off some of my skills to do the editing.
Back in the old days.
Yep, I'm an old guy.
Yeah, me too. I'm there with you, man. So when will we be seeing this on Kickstarter?
So we are going to be releasing it this month, or launching it, I should say, this month. It's our first ever Kickstarter. We've been publishing products for 20 years almost, but it's the first time we've done a Kickstarter. And right now it's going to be between the 19th and the 26th of July. So that's just pending a few last minute things that we're working out. But I think it's likely the 19th. But
okay.
The pre-launch is up. That's you were showing the preview there, but the pre-launch is there, so you can go check it out. And I don't know, Mike, if you're able to share that.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. I had a tiny URL for that, but I can share the actual URL too. Just 1 sec.
Either way, you can
So that's
You
I'll
can
put that in the show notes as well. But
That'd be great.
that's the pre-launch page.
That's the pre-launch, right? So you can go there and flag that so you'll know for sure when it launches. But again, I think the 19th is the likely date. The latest it would be is the 26th.
Okay, cool. So what was the inspiration for this?
So again, partly, as I said before, it was just the idea of wouldn't it be fun to make something that families could play together, a role-playing game. There's lots of board games and such, but there aren't that many role-playing games out there, at least that I'm aware of, that are built or designed to be played with younger children and families. Also, the game Low Life, I played that. I played in a campaign of Low Life, and I really enjoyed the silliness of that, and it was sort of inspired to build on the idea I already had about Dust Bunnies. There was also an old PBS show called Big Comfy Couch, where they had dust bunnies that lived on the show, and I was a big fan of that. And used to work for public broadcasting, and all those things kind of came together, in a confluence, and it really started pushing hard. And I told Carl about it, and he did some artwork and worked up some of the trade dress that we're doing, and we just kept rolling. And that's one of the things we talk about. Dust Bunnies, one of their mottos is "Let's roll." And that's how they move. And it's more than just how they move. It's sort of a philosophy, their way of life, and how they think about things is part of the setting. And so you'll see "Let's roll" a lot. We have that in our promotional materials, and you'll see that in the Kickstarter. And so we just rolled with it, and now we're ready to do the Kickstarter.
Well, hey, we've got a question from a viewer.
Sure.
The Hamster of Doom. That's a beautiful handle on YouTube. Asks, may I ask what ages you've designed this for?
So it's really designed to be played for all ages. We call it a game for heroes of all ages. So we're doing play testing now to prove that, of course, and make adjustments if we need to. But it can be played by adults for sure, but can also be played by, I would say, kids as young as maybe 6, 7, 8, with a GM that knows what they're doing. Really anywhere up to the adult age. And I'm running a play test here in about a week with my local gaming group and all adults. And my son is running a play test this week also with some kids. So we're going to get, experience on both of those. But, it's easy to say for any age, but we really think it can be played by anybody. And I would say kids as young as 6, 7, 8 ish, depending on their maturity level and, and how much they enjoy this kind of thing to begin with. I mean, the Dust Bunnies are mischievous and fun, right? It's not about combat. In fact, Dust Bunnies, most of what they do will be tests instead of attacks in the Savage World system. So we're not focusing on the combat, although we're using the combat rules, but it'll mostly be tests that the Dust Bunnies do. Now, to elaborate on that, I mean, a cat doesn't care what a dust bunny thinks. So if a house cat happens to be around and swipes with a claw, that would be an attack. But the dust bunnies don't usually attack. They will try to trick the cat and, do other mischievous things like hiding the host keys. We call the GM the host. They live in a house, right? So that's their host, whoever's abode they live in. And they like to do things like hide your keys and, hide your glasses. So, Mike, if you can't find your glasses, it's probably Dust Bunnies that moved them somewhere. So that's what the game is about, is, having fun like that, not necessarily doing combat.
All right, so more creative problem solving, creative thinking.
Yes, exactly. Teamwork. And Dust Bunnies like to work as a team, so we're going to do dramatic tasks and things of that nature.
All right, cool.
I hope that answered the question.
I think so, yeah. So I created a little tiny URL, which is a little easier to say on the air than the other URL. Just tinyurl.com/dustbunnyks will take you to the pre-launch page, and we'll have that in the show notes as well. You mentioned you guys were considering a plot point campaign as a stretch goal. Can you tell me a little bit about what the story behind that would be?
Yeah, so I'll have to give a little background before that, but I can certainly do that. So the core book will come with a quick start adventure, which is an adventure that takes place inside a house, and then we also, as part of our Kickstarter package that comes with the Kickstarter rewards, we also will be having a set of novice adventures, which will take the characters up to a seasoned rank. And then the plot point campaign could pick up from there, and you could use the same characters you already used or start over if you wanted to. And the plot point campaign would move to the outdoors. So the Dust Bunnies would leave the house and go outside into the wider world and have an adventure that would, span several sessions in the outdoors. And they might meet other Dust Bunnies, maybe that live in the shed or on the porch and such, and various other creatures that are outdoors that they might not have encountered in the indoor scenarios. So the plot point campaign would be a number of different things that could happen that aren't related directly to the quest, if you will. But then there would be a main storyline that would take you from start to end. And the way we have that laid out right now, it's not written yet, but it is outlined. Is that would be a campaign that would take you from seasoned ranked all the way to heroic.
Okay. I think Carl's coming back in. Let's see if we can talk to him now.
Hey,
Carl.
great.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, we still can't hear him.
Hey, Carl. Okay, well,
I do see his icon there. That's one of our Dust Bunnies. So I'll just talk about that for a second, if I may.
Yeah, go for it, please.
So another thing that comes with the core rule book, which, by the way, is about 90% written, and we have some artwork, but a lot of what we're doing in the Kickstarter is that is so funny. That is exactly right. I see the comment there from one of your.
That's Walt. He asks, "Is the Dust Bunny the ultimate enemy, the vacuum cleaner?"
Yeah, that distracted me. Sorry, because the quick start adventure is called the Horror Spring Cleaning, and everybody knows that Dust Bunnies abhor a vacuum, especially a vacuum that uses high torque suction technology. So, in fact, that is the quick start adventure is spring cleaning, and one of the things they face is the vacuum, the presence of the vacuum cleaner. So, absolutely yes.
All right, cool.
You've nailed it, Walt Robillard.
Hey, we got another question. Carl Kessler. Hey guys, on Facebook, can't log in for some reason. Oh, that's cool. Carl, if you want to put in some comments in there on Facebook, we can talk to you that way. If you'll talk about the inspiration for the setting or some of the adventures, feel free to throw in some comments.
Yeah, I forget what I was starting to say when I was distracted by the vacuum cleaner, because that is exactly what we're doing. That is the quick start adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I know what I was saying. So another thing that comes with the core book is a set of 7 pre-generated Dust Bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
We call them the Ready to Roll Dust Bunny Band.
Mm-hmm.
And we've told you that Let's Roll is sort of the motto of the Dust Bunnies, and everything's about rolling, and it's sort of it's a catch-all phrase that could mean let's go do something, to let's talk about this, to hey, I support that idea, in the idea of teamwork amongst the Dust Bunnies. So the image that Carl showed on there is one of our 7 ready to roll Dust Bunnies. And that is part of the core book. So there's more I could talk about, but I'd love to answer questions first, so I don't want to just ramble on.
No, that's cool. So walk me through the initial adventure. You say there's going to be a starter adventure in the book. What is my quest as a Dust Bunny?
So Dust Bunnies love to make mischief, and so one of the things they like to do is collect treasures, or what they like to call baubles. And so it's not so much for like accumulating wealth or anything like that. Like I say, it's mischievous, and so they might try to hide your keys or steal your glasses or something like that, do tricks around the house. But they also like to collect things. But they're just as likely to collect something of no value to a human biped, like a peanut, as they would to try to find a penny or something that may be of actual monetary value. So the quick start adventure starts out with a scene where they decide to play a little game with themselves, and they decide they're going to present themselves with a challenge, and they have to go collect a certain number of peanuts and build a pyramid full of peanuts to feed the dog in the house. And they need to do that before the dog comes and snarfs them up. So they set themselves a goal to build this pyramid and to do that. So that's the opening scene, but that presents a complication. While they're doing that, they may meet some spiders under the host's big chair. They will eventually encounter the brush of doom, otherwise known as a broom, and they have to avoid the broom and stay safe and work together to avoid the broom while they're finishing their peanut building game. And then eventually, the third act is, as one of your subscribers already figured out, the Great Vacuum. And the Dust Bunnies fear the Great Vacuum, so they have to deal with the Great Vacuum and ensure themselves safety while they're having fun. So again, it's all about trickses. They call what they do trickses, and we have a set of edges for Savage Worlds in this setting that we call Trix's edges, and we have a creative Trix's table that you use. So instead of attacking, they'll be performing tests that are Trix's. Powers also use the Trix's and the creative Trix's table. So again, all of it in the idea of creating mischief. And creating mischief could be anything from building that pile of peanuts, like we suggested, to hiding things, stealing things, if you will. They don't think of it as stealing, but that's part of their mischief. And so that's a very quick outline. I don't want to give all the points away, but that's an outline of what that quick start adventure would look like. I can't hear you. Is that me?
I was muted. Sorry. I got so excited because Walt had another quip when I didn't bother to unmute myself. Walt says, "Are the Dust Bunnies able to combine like Captain Planet when our allergens combine?"
That's a good idea. We don't have that built in quite yet, but that could certainly be an advanced edge or something like that we could build in as we go. They do like to do teamwork, so the notion is certainly there that Dust Bunnies combine their efforts, and they often work together.
So maybe
We emphasize support, in those Savage Worlds rules in the Dust Bunnies game. So
maybe some kind of Voltron Gestalt mode.
Sure, why not? I mean, that would certainly be something that maybe we would build into that plot point campaign. Maybe they have to do that at some point.
So Hamster of Doom says, "Wait, are these little monsters the reasons why I only have one sock of many types?"
Exactly.
Like it's possible.
Exactly. That's one of the things we say is, so that's what happened to my keys, or that's why I'm missing a sock. Yes, because the Dust Bunnies would love to collect things like that. They don't care how much it's worth. It's the fun of it.
No, this is funny. Walt owns several dogs, so he's asking, do Dust Bunnies get stronger in a home with long-haired dogs?
Sure, they can. In fact, one of the edges we have is an adapted edge from Savage Worlds called Threads of Steel. So, Dust Bunnies are made of dog hair and lint and dryer lint and dust and whatever you can find under your couch. As it's, the subtitle of the game is Life Under the Couch. And so, sure, if you've got long-haired dogs in your household, then Dust Bunnies probably will have inherited some of those hairs and strengthened themselves. I happen to have 2 greyhounds, so they're not long-haired, but there's hair everywhere.
Yeah, I used to have a greyhound. I love that dog.
Yeah, they're great. They're beautiful dogs too.
And Carl was in and says, "Did you mention the arcane backgrounds?"
Oh, I didn't. Carl's so smart. See, that's why we needed him here. So what I like to say is, magic exists. Every Dust Bunny knows that. And what we're doing in the game is we are using magic, and there are powers and arcane backgrounds. We're using 3 arcane backgrounds. Some of them are slightly adapted from Savage World standards. We pretty much use all of the Savage Worlds rule set, but we're adapting things to this setting where the Dust Bunnies live. So the one that we have created, which is sort of new but sort of an adaptation, is what we call the Ruber. And the Ruber is a magic user who is a descendant of Rube Oldrug, who was an ancient Dust Bunny. And, you kind of get the idea there. Maybe you're laughing, so I guess you do, Mike. So Rube Oldrug, invented this kind of use of powers and has passed it down through other Dust Bunnies. We call them Rubers. And an edge you can get as you advance is the Rubeteer. And the Rubeteer can do things with baubles that they find to create.
I'm guessing these are very, very complicated artifacts they put together.
I wouldn't quite put it that way. They use the baubles they get to enhance their magic and do more special kinds of magic beyond what they would normally do as Dust Bunnies. So, sort of, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So looks like the launch date is TBD, but in the very near future. Is that fair to say?
That is very fair to say. Like I said, that between the 19th and the 26th, I can guarantee that. We're just not sure exactly which day yet.
All right, cool. Let me throw up the tiny URL again. tinyurl.com/dustbunnyks. Quickest way to get to the pre-launch page. If you want to find them on drive-thru, because Doghouse Rules has a bunch of cool games that they've been. You guys have been publishing for Savage Worlds for a very long time, right?
Yeah, about 12 years.
Yeah.
We have a variety of products out there. Yeah, that's our website. Thanks for showing that.
Yeah, it's just doghouserules.net. And I mentioned before, apparently Carl is your guy for graphic design because you get just amazing covers.
Yeah, Carl is the great graphic designer. He's done a lot of work for Savage Worlds products, including the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition itself. He's a brilliant graphic designer.
Cool. Yeah, I really want to check out this shark adventure you got right up here.
Trailer Park Shark Attack is one of our best-selling products.
Oh, God. We could do a whole show just talking about that. Another comment. Hey, it's that Carl. Oh, here we go. Carl says, did you mention defense instead of fighting?
I didn't mention that specifically, but I did talk about how they don't really attack. So what we're substituting a skill called defense instead of fighting. It works just like fighting in the Savage Worlds rules. You derive your parry from defense and all that, but they use it more like tests than they do other things. So yes, that's worth mentioning for sure. Carl's right. And yeah, shucks about Trailer Park Shark Attack. We love that game. We play that ourselves regularly. So if you've never seen Trailer Park Shark Attack, you should check it out.
Maybe we should have you back on to talk about that because that sounds like just a whole big jiggling hill of fun.
Oh, it is great fun. We came out with a new adventure for it too called Sharkano that came out earlier this year.
Really? I see it there on your drive-thru RPG site.
Yep.
And the name's super easy to remember, folks. Just Doghouse Rules. Go to drive-thru RPG. You can do a search for them. And I'm going to share the cover for Sharkano because that just looks amazing. 1 second.
Yeah, feel free. Again, Carl's work.
This is beautiful work, Carl. Oh man, I love that. That's oh god, that's beautiful. That's it's just cheesy and beautiful.
Oh yeah, Carl and I wrote that together, and it's a great collaborative effort. And his artwork, like I said, his graphic design is outstanding.
Nice. Anything else we want to mention about Dustbunnies before we wrap things up?
I mean, I don't know. You let me talk a lot about it. I would just say let's roll and meet us at the Kickstarter.
All right, sounds good. Carl, sorry we couldn't get you on the show this time. Hopefully, we'll have you guys on in a couple of months, talk about Sharknado, and maybe touch on Kickstarter. You know, after you guys have the campaign's finished, you can tell us how fulfillment's going, and maybe we can get you on that time. So, Chris, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, thanks for being here. Thanks to everybody in the comments, Hamster of Doom, Carl, Walt. And if you want to hang out for 4 minutes, we're going to have Walt on in just a second or two to talk about his 3 novels were just released as a box set.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, Walt does military sci-fi, so it should be fun. That'll be starting up in just 4 minutes. So thanks for checking us out on the Banff podcast, and we'll catch you soon.